Is apologetics useful in evangelism? Absolutely. If you're sharing your faith or you're discipling others, both which are expected from Christians, then you should immediately see the usefulness of being a skilled apologist. Now, William Lane Craig has said, frankly, I think those who regard apologetics as futile in evangelism just don't do very much evangelism. Now, the reason being is that whether it's the Christian we are discipling, the non-Christian we are evangelizing, or yourself to whom you are encouraging, we all have questions that do come up when we share our faith. And these questions can either prevent someone from hearing the gospel or prevent the Christian from even getting to sharing it. Now, according to Scripture, in order for a person to be saved, he must put his faith or trust in Jesus. While saving faith primarily has to do with the affections and the will, part of faith obviously includes the intellect. That is, they need to know and believe the vital truths of the Christian faith, such as God exists and Jesus is the second person of the Trinity, and etc. Well, this knowledge does not save anyone. It is a necessary part of saving faith. No one can put their trust in a God they do not believe in. The task of apologetics, then, is what is called pre-evangelism, to aid in the process of helping the non-Christian to grasp the truths of the gospel. Thus, apologetics is useful for evangelism because it addresses the questions and objections that create the intellectual barriers to saving faith. Secondly, as I previously discussed, apologetics must be useful in evangelism because it was standard procedure of evangelism in the Bible, especially that of Paul. Again, he regularly reasoned for the truthfulness of the Christian faith, both in religious and secular spheres. In the synagogues, he often appealed to fulfilled prophecy, Jesus' miracles, and the resurrection to show that Jesus is the Messiah. When he was speaking with the Gentiles, he often appealed to nature to show that God exists, and then he would appeal to the eyewitness testimonies of the resurrection to show that Jesus is that God. So it would seem that according to Paul, apologetics is useful to evangelism. Now, furthermore, experience tells us that apologetics is useful in evangelism. Most famously is the conversion of C.S. Lewis. His friends regularly confronted him with convincing arguments for God and Christianity and encouraged him to read books defending the Christian faith. And because of this, he came to be convinced of the truth claims of Christianity, and he became a Christian. Similarly, the early church father Justin Martyr became a Christian after being confronted with the rationality of the Christian faith. And even today, there are numerous stories of people claiming that because of apologetics, they were able to come to faith in Jesus Christ. That's because evangelism eventually involves answering the skeptics' questions, because Paul thought apologetics was useful in evangelism, and because experience tells us that apologetics helps bring people to Christ. I think it is safe to say that apologetics is useful in evangelism.
Thank you for watching a video teaching by Matthew Files with Faith and Knowledge Ministries. If you are interested in having him come to your church to teach about a topic in apologetics or Christian philosophy, please contact him at faithandknowledgeministries@gmail.com or call 919-803-9146. You can also follow Faith and Knowledge Ministries on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter, or visit Matthew's blog by going to matthewfiles.blogspot.com.